Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, family. Welcome to Lone Wolf Firearms Training, short for LWF Training. I am your host, Juan J. Johnson, coming to you live on all your social media platforms. We're on Twitter, we should be on Facebook, and we should be on YouTube. I know it's kind of late, but we're live. We're live. I'm looking forward to having a great conversation with you. I just need to make sure that we are public. Social media has a way, some of these platforms have a way of limiting your audience. So I need to make sure that we're not just private, that we're on every audience right now. We're on everywhere. Let me try something real quick. So again, we're live. Thank you for tuning in. I need you to go to LWF Training, LWFtraining.com to sign up for your wear and carry classes. Again, that's LWF Training to sign up for your wear and carry and your HQL, which is a handgun qualification license class. Again, I need you to share this video as well. Share it. I need you to subscribe to the channel, to the YouTube channel. I need you to subscribe also to the Facebook channel and become friends on Twitter. Again, we're going to talk about becoming responsible gun owners. I think it's important. I think it's relevant. I think that these days we have to be about the business of becoming responsible gun owners and users. And I want to deal with what is the holdup? Why are we afraid to embrace the Second Amendment and our right to bear arms? Why are people so scared, so terrified of the gun? When you consider that the very forces, the very military, the very people who protect this country, they protect it with battleships. They protect it with F-16. They protect it with soldiers. And we even have an arsenal of nuclear weapons. I try to make the connection that, for all those who are against firearms, becoming responsible gun owners, gun users, how are you against it when the only way you can enjoy your First Amendment right now, that freedom of speech, that freedom of religion, that freedom of petition, that freedom of assemble, and that freedom of press, the only reason why you can even have these freedoms, these liberties, is because the Second Amendment. We have to be able to connect the dots as to all these liberties that we cherish. We cherish them because we have the Second Amendment, family. The Second Amendment. I say often to my students or those who will listen to me that the Second Amendment of the Constitution is not a suggestion. I repeat, the Second Amendment is not a suggestion, it's a right. Now, maybe some of us have maybe forgotten what the Second Amendment says. So let me just remind you. The Second Amendment says that a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Say this again. That's the Second Amendment. A well-regulated people or militia or citizens. That's all militia is. It talks about the citizens, the people of the country, of the nation, being necessary to the security of the free state. America is free because of the militia, not because of the government per se, not because of, well, so let's say this. Yes, we have the Constitution and we have the Bill of Rights, but none of those rights mean nothing if it cannot be enforced. We have laws on the book. A law is only as good as it can be enforced. The Constitution, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment is only as good as its ability to be enforced. You can write all the laws you want. You can have all the laws you want. But if you can't enforce them, it means nothing. So again, a well-regulated militia means citizens, people, you and I, just normal citizens being necessary to the security of the free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms should not be infringed. As I said, the topic today of the discussion would be why is it so difficult for us to embrace the Second Amendment? Why? What keeps us from becoming responsible gun owners, gun users? And look here, I am willing to open this thing up and have this conversation. I think I figured out how to do the live piece. I will put the live piece, I guess, in the if you want to come on and have that conversation, we can have it. Because I think that, again, I need to find out why so many brothers, males, have an issue with owning a gun. I've trained more females than guys, and I've been a firearm instructor since 2018. 18, 19, 21, 22, about 5 years now. Okay. Trained hundreds of people. I also, look, when I say train, I'm talking about I certified civilians to become unarmed police officers. I used to work for MVP. I used to work for firearm security training under Melvin Keys, one of his lead instructors. I'm certified in the ASP. I'm certified in OC, certified with the handcuffs, certified with the firearm. You know, I teach this evacuations and bomb scares. I know what I'm talking about. Again, I retired from the police department after 27 years. It's just certain things I just know. I didn't put my skills on the shelf. I continued to sharpen and harness the skills, and in becoming a firearm instructor, teaching people how to defend themselves, uh, or stop the threat. I get joy out of that. But I'm seeing so many males resist becoming responsible gun owners, gun users. And I'm trying to just encourage our brothers to catch up with these sisters. On any given day, if you go to any firearm facility, range, or store, you're literally seeing more sisters taking classes, going on the range than the brothers. Say this again. You are literally seeing more sisters at the range shooting. Okay. And I think that we need to have that discussion. think we need to have that discussion as to, I mean, I can use some very hard words that would describe me in, oh man, should I even say it? Because I went hard for a minute. Let me, let me say, let me use the word. In my observation, in trying to get people to become responsible gun owners, gun users, I'm seeing that a lot of the males have been neutered. A level of emasculation has taken place. A level of castration has taken place um, among the males, the main ones who should be the protectors, not just the providers, and not just the persons to give instructions. But I'm talking about the function of a man would be to protect himself, his wife, his children, those within his wingspan, his community, his city, and the nation. Okay. That's my definition of a man. It's not just about your self protection. It's not just about protecting your wife. It's not just about protecting your children. It also spills into protecting anybody within your wingspan, whether it be family, friends, cousins, you know, and then it expands to what? The community. Okay. And not just a community, but the city. We may have to protect the city, a well regulated militia to protect the free state. And not just the city, the state. And not just the state, the nation. How has it how has it become that the men have surrendered their right to protect themselves? Where did that come from? Where did that originate from? Who has convinced you, the males, not to become responsible gun owners, gun users? I see so many guys who are adamant about not protecting themselves. They would rather have somebody else protect them than them learning how to protect themselves with the firearm, with the rifle, with the shotgun, with the revolver, with the semi-automatic handgun. And I would say even self-defense. Too many males that I know and seen personally, they've surrendered the authority in the earth to protect themselves, their women, their children, the community, the city, the state, and even the nation. And we have to summon the courage, take a look at ourselves in the mirror, and ask the question. Ask the question, be honest. Can I protect myself? Can I protect my family? Can I protect my wife? I was having a conversation with a preacher, and we talked about the first law of God, the first law that God gave man in Genesis about gave you dominion over the fish of the sea, the fowl of the air, the creepers, the cattle. Okay. Dominion means I want you to rule it. I want you to dominate that. But people don't understand that when you're ruling something and dominating, you got to expect resistance. And most of us do not expect resistance. We think things are just going to be handed to us. When you're hunting something, the animal just doesn't just surrender. It resists. These criminals out here in these streets, they don't just take no, a simple no. They resist. So as responsible males, as men, and even as young men, you, I, myself, we have a responsibility, family, to become responsible gun owners and gun users. And I mean that. We must examine ourselves daily to ask ourselves, am I doing everything I can to defend myself and my family, my community? Why is it a struggle for me to even entertain the idea of having a gun in the house? Who has convinced you not to have a gun in the house, not to have a weapon in the house? Who? Who? Again, I'm seeing the sisters. Instinctively, they know they're not protected. And they are coming in droves. They're coming to get that training. They're not letting nothing stop them because they know, or they instinctively know, that they're not protected. You go to any range nationwide in the city and you will see a lot of sisters. And I'm beginning to see not just the sisters, I'm beginning to see a lot of the people who just got their American citizenship, who've gone through the course, who've gone through the schedule, who've gone through the rites of passage to become American citizens. And upon them getting their citizenship, one of the first things they do is they come to the range and begin to learn how to become responsible gun owners, gun users. And not just learn, they're buying handguns, semi-automatic handguns, the revolvers, the shotguns, the rifles. I mean, I'm seeing all creeds, all colors at these ranges, shooting, learning how to shoot. They know something that a lot of us don't know, or a lot of us refuse to accept. Okay, a lot of these people are coming from places where they have been under some type of terror, some type of tyrant, where the government had the arms, where the government had the guns, and the citizens didn't have the guns, and they fled those countries and came here. They know the importance of being able to protect themselves. They know. So what is keeping American males, specifically American Black males, from learning how to be responsible gun owners and gun users? What's keeping you? Why is it such a challenge for you? You have to answer that question. Who has convinced you to trust in the county police, the municipal police, the state police, the National Guard, the city police? I tell people all the time, even in my training sessions, there are not enough police officers to answer the call for every citizen. I tell people all the time, from Rhode Island to California, you may have a total of 1 million police officers. 1 million. And I'm being very generous with that number. The big cities, New York, Jersey, okay, Chicago, Florida, Texas, Houston, San Antonio, California. Those are the big cities with the most police officers. Chicago, okay? And then after that, you have pockets of police officers in the counties, in the municipals, okay? Like I said, DC only have maybe, DC, which is a city, may have 3,500. May have 3,500. New York, 100,000 something police officers. When I say probably from Rhode Island to California, a total of a million police officers, that's not exaggerating. It's not. And then you throw in your National Guard, you throw in your reserves, you throw in your Coast Guard, you throw in your, and I'm including the sheriffs in this too. The sheriffs, okay? There's just not a lot. So it would behoove you to become a responsible gun owner and gun user. Because again, I see a bigger picture. It's not so much about you protecting yourself, protecting your family and your community, your city, the state. You just may be called on to protect this nation. I am fully convinced in the era of war that we're living in, because we're living in the era of war, family. When I say we're living in the era of war, I'm saying that America right now is funding Ukraine in their war. Okay? So we're living in the era of war. And we all saw that when Russia attacked Ukraine, Ukraine armed all the citizens. And what makes you think that that can't happen here? Huh? Think about it. What makes you think that that cannot happen here? I say often, and I believe it with everything in me, there are people out here, there are nations out here who would love to replace us. Okay? They would. I say it often, I say it again. Any nation who decides to plan an attack on American soil, they have to consider the 331 million Americans. So they're not just planning for the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines, the Coast Guard, the National Guard, or reserves. They have to plan and assume that everybody in America has a gun. That's a big hill to climb because, again, they don't know who has the guns. So they have to assume that every American has one. And that's why I'm trying to get you to become a responsible gun owner and user. That's one of the reasons why. So that if there is an attack on our shores, then you will be able to be that militia. You will be able to be that person who can defend not just your family or yourself, your city and your state, but you'll be able to defend this nation. Because look here, at the end of the day, family, at the end of the day, we all we got. Good or bad, we all we got. Okay. So I need the family. I need our males to examine themselves and see if they're doing everything they can to become responsible gun owners, gun users. And let me make a direct approach, a plea to the preachers, to the pastors, to the bishops, to the evangelists, to the teachers, to the prophets, those who have had the microphone for decades, pushing and preaching this narrative that you don't need no guns. I need you to rethink that. I need you to rethink that. I need you to have responsible, trained firearms instructors to come to your churches, to your conventions, to your convocations, to teach your people, male, woman, and child, the basics, an intro class to firearms. We have to reimagine our community. We have Generation Z and Y coming after Generation X. The baby boomers are on their way out. The silent generation, they're knocking on death door. Okay? What's left now? I'm Generation X. Okay? Behind me is Z and Y. So I see myself as reintroducing to that next generation to become responsible gun owners, gun users. I see already that the boomers, the silent generation, made a concerted effort to not arm themselves. They made a concerted effort not to, which is their prerogative. They can do that. But your decision to not arm yourself has passed on a legacy of codependency on somebody else to do something that you could do. Okay? So again, I need for us to for the Generation X and the Ys and the Zs to reimagine yourselves as responsible gun owners and gun users. Again, the boomers, the silent generation made a concerted effort to not have the guns. They left it up to maybe certain pockets of people to have the guns. The Deacons for Defense in Alabama, the Black Panther Party, you know what I'm saying? And other smaller sects to be responsible gun owners, gun users. Now it's time for us again. We have to reimagine our community, protecting ourselves against foreign and domestic enemies. We have to reimagine ourselves. Okay. And it starts with, again, as I say often, that the proof of love is the willingness to protect. Say this again. I said this 12 years ago. It hit me like a light bulb. That the proof of love is the willingness to protect. And if you're not willing to protect, then I'm not sure you have the love. And I'm not just talking about protection for myself only, or for my wife, or my significant other, or for my child, or for members of my family. No, I'm talking about the neighborhood, the community, the nation. The proof of love is the willingness to protect. So again, I want you to reconsider becoming responsible gun owners, gun users, wherever this video goes. and you come across it, I need you to reconsider becoming responsible gun owners and gun users, because we're living in a age and a time where you want to make sure that you're covered. You want to make sure that you're protected. Okay. And I think that again, it's your constitutional right to be able to own a gun legally. If you clear the mental health part legally and you clear the criminal part, I say train yourselves. Even if you don't want to use it, be familiar with the parts, be familiar with the operation of it, be familiar with, if you can, when you see it, you'll be able to identify if it's safe or not safe, if it's loaded or not loaded. Okay. But don't be out here not knowing. Don't be out here clueless. Don't be out here just determined not to become responsible gun owners, gun users, because that's when you're gonna catch yourself sleeping. Okay. So again, let's us talking about being gun owners is what I want to cover on tonight. I'm not going to stay much longer, but I did want to share that. I want you to subscribe to the channel. I want you to share the video. I want you to share it. Okay. And and go whatever state you're in, find you somebody who's going to willing to train you and teach you how to become a responsible gun owner, gun user, and do it. You know, and look, so watch this. I do an intro class online. We have an intro class, 2-hour class online. Okay, from 12 to 2 on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, you can do an HQL, which is a 4.5-hour class. Handgun qualification license, 4.5 hours. Matter of fact, on Fridays and Saturdays, running a special right now. I do a wear and carry or concealed carry, 8 hours from 9 to 5, 16 hours. If you go to that class, we throw in the HQL. So you get a wear and carry and a HQL, 2 for 1. 2 for 1. 2 for 1. 2 for 1. The classes are good, very informative. We engage in conversations. We answer questions. So again, no more excuses. No more excuses. Become a responsible gun owner, gun user. Anywhere in your state, type in your Google browser, and it will pull up some certified gun companies that you can go to or stores and get into a class, even if you don't want to carry or have the gun in the house. Be familiar with the gun. Again, this is a reintroduction to guns moving forward. I'm not assuming that folks know guns. I'm not assuming folks have gun. I am trying to reintroduce you to the gun. That's my goal, to reintroduce you, reimagining a people who are who have the confidence, who's not afraid no more, who can own a gun with confidence and no fear, because they know what they're doing. They know the parts. They know how to clean it. They know how to break it apart. They know how to put it back together again. They know the laws of their states. I envision responsible gun ownership and responsible users. This is me. What do you envision? This is what I envision. Okay. So again, I want to thank you for tuning in. Again, I want you to go to lwftraining.com and sign up for the class. Again, tomorrow, it's HQL class. It's 4 hours. Talking about from what, 9 to 1, 9 to 1, 10, 11, 12, 1, 4 hours. Okay. Go online, register. We will get back with you with the location. And on Fridays, if you're not doing nothing Friday and you want to become a wear and carry or a concealed carry, you contact LWF Training. That first class is a virtual class, 9 to 5. You can't even, you can be home in the privacy of your own house on that first day. It's a lot of information. There's 2 tests, a written test and a shooting test. And you will pass both. I promise you that. Okay. At the completion of the class, and after you get your prints, well, before your prints, at the completion of the class, you're going to get a certificate mailed to your email address. You just print it out for HQL or for a wear and carry. 16-hour course. And you can hang it on your wall. And look at it every day. Say, yes, I went to class. I'm a proud wear and carry student. Become a member of the Wolf Pack. Yeah, a Wolf Pack. Lone Wolf, as you graduate, you are official member of the Wolf Pack. And we stay up and stay on these laws and make recommendations on what guns you should get for yourself. There's a lot of gun conversation out here about what's the best gun? What gun should I get? And my answer is always the best gun is the one that fits in your hand. The best gun is the gun that fits in your hand. If it doesn't fit in your hand, it doesn't make no difference. You don't have time to be manipulating and messing with your hands. No, the best gun you can purchase is the one that fit in your hand. Okay? So with that said, we're going to bring it to the end. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter. Subscribe. Also, I need you to like the video for the algorithm so we can get around and get some traction. Like it. And I want you to share the video. Share the video on all of the social media platforms. Again, my goal is to always try to bring you some value. Some value. So I'm not just to talk about it. I want to bring you some value. And I want to encourage you. I want to motivate you. I want to enlighten you. I want to empower you to become the best person that you can be, but at the same time, become responsible gun owners and gun users. With that said, I want you to again share this video. Go to lwftraining.com. Again, go to lwftraining.com, and always remember, it's not how much you know, family. Again, a lot of folks know a lot of things. Got a lot of degrees. Got a lot of retired folks out here. Got a lot of smart folks out here. But it's not how much you know. No, it's how much you care. Do you care? I care. That's why I do what I do, because I care. I want to see more responsible families, more responsible males, females, and children become responsible gun owners and gun users. That's what I want to see. With that said, always remember, there is a lone wolf in you, and it's my goal to bring it out. Stay encouraged. Again, share this video, share it, like it, subscribe to the channel, and I'm out of here.